Decostucco is a pasty, gloss, and semi-gloss interior coating, which is acrylic emulsion-based, containing quartz, limestone, and pigment. It is applied on the walls, plastering, gross concrete, and wooden surfaces, which are in interior part of the buildings. It gives a marble look. Decostucco is applied to the surface at least 3 coats after the interior surface preparation is completed. Decostucco marble-looking decorative plastering that has been colored as demanded should be stirred well for 1 to 2 minutes prior to each usage and should not be thinned at all. Decostucco plastering should be applied to surface with stainless steel trowel and a small putty knife. Consumption in all coats should be 500 to 850 grams per square meter according to the smoothness of the surface and the type of giving design patterns. The application should be from outside to the inside, in example, from the plastered area to the non-plastered area with circular movements of the trowel. The towel shouldn't be pressed too much on the surface, and design patterns should not be applied on the first coat. It is advised to use the small putty knife in places like window borders and ceiling edges. The steel trowel and the putty knife should be cleaned with water in short periods to clean away the dried plastering particles. If there is another coat of color to be applied on the surface together with the Decostucco plastering, the main color should be applied first. If there are different surfaces like columns in the application area, the plastering should be applied in straight lines to this part. Then, the first coat should be finished, starting from the end of remaining part. drying period of the first coat is at least 12 hours at room temperature. The second coat should start where the first coat applied. The application should be from outside to inside, in example, from the plastered area to the non-plastered area with circular movements of the trowel. The towel shouldn't be pressed too much on the surface, and the design patterns should be made creating half-moon designs on the upper side of the trowel direction. The application should be made diagonally. The application should be finished by skipping the parts where different color is to be used. When the surface is dry enough to allow the masking tape, the skipped part should be framed with the masking tape. And the Decostucco plastering, colored differently, should be applied in the area masked to finish the second coat. The surface should be left drying. After second coat, the application of Decostucco, the entire surface is finished. The drying period of the second coat is at least 12 hours at room temperature. The third coat application should start from the area of the different color. This area should be framed with masking tape. The design patterns should be applied with circular movements of the trowel. Before applied coat is dry, the shining and finishing the design patterns should be made during the application. The steel trowel should be wiped with a clean cloth that won't leave fluff. The shining and finishing the design patterns should be made by pressing the steel trowel on the surface with a certain angle and pulling it in circular movements. After the third coat of the different color application finished, the masking tape should be removed and the surface be let dry. After the different color area is dry enough not to stick to the masking tape, it should be separated from the rest of the area and the main color should be applied. As the main color Decostucco plastering application is performed by giving design patterns through circular movements, the shining and finishing the design patterns should be made simultaneously. Shining and finishing the design patterns process will harden the surface material, clearly display the marble look, and make the surface shine. heel trouble should be wiped with a clean cloth that won't leave fluff during the shining and finishing the design pattern process. After finishing the entire surface, the masking tapes should be removed and the surface should be let dry. The drying period of the surface is at least 24 hours at room temperature. After the surface is dry, the last phase of Decostucco, in example the protection and shining polish application, is done. Decostucco protection and shining polish is applied with clean gloves or a clean cloth that won't leave fluff after it is stirred well. The application is done in circular movements and to create a thin layer on the whole surface. After polishing the entire surface, the masking tapes should be removed and the surface should be let dry. The complete drying period is 48 hours at room temperature.